Good morning, the representative of the Minister for Agriculture, the USAID representative, and the leader of Feed the Future Nigeria, who is here by my side, Dr. Balana, the IFPRI Nigeria country leader acting, the stakeholders of agricultural sector in Nigeria who are present here, the academia represented by professors and a lot of distinguished scholars that are here, that I can't mention, the leader of Agricultural Society of Nigeria, President Ishaq Mohammed, distinguished ESCO members of APRNet and members of APRNet Congress, and other stakeholders who are present here. I have the pleasure to be here today to present an address to welcome you to the 6th APRNet USAID International Food Policy Research Institute and Feed the Future program on the National Stakeholders Forum for Agriculture, giving evidence to support policy in Nigeria. That is why we are here today, and a seminar on agricultural policy, holding here in Little Parks Hotel. I welcome you all to this event, and I have a welcome address that I will just briefly summarize. It's all before you, so I will just talk a little bit about what I have before you. So the address goes thus. Nigeria, Africa's largest country, with a population of over 200 million, that is about 201 million, which rose from 166 million in 2012 to 166.01 million in 2019, where we are, is a land that is rich with so much resources, abundant human resources, arable land of about 34 million hectares, oil reserve, proven reserve of over 37 million barrels, human resources that we cannot even count. And indeed, we have all that it takes to grow the country to become one of the 10 most prosperous countries in the world. But unfortunately, our country is saddled with so many problems, so many issues that are gigantic, and they are surmountable. So we have the problem of population explosion, which I have just mentioned, that with this rapid rise in population, Nigeria stands the chance of rising to the third most populous country in the next time, by 2050. We will ascend that position, but how prepared are we? That is the question. And that takes us to the issue of the Malthusian catastrophe. In 1798, way back then, when even our own forefathers were not born, Thomas Malthus was able to predict that there will be a catastrophe if population growth is not checked. As the population grows exponentially, while resources grow arithmetically. So this issue of positive checks that Malthusian economics try to talk about is staring us in the face today as we stand here. And how did it come? They come in form of wars. Nigeria is not facing war, but what we are having in Nigeria now is more than war. With the number of IDPs that we have being more than 2 million within a few years, it happens more even beyond people who are having wars. We have disease outbreaks sometimes. We also have banditry. We have herdsmen and farmers clashing, kidnapping. There are a lot of issues that have to do with the environment. There are other catastrophic issues which are definitely going to bring down our population or check our population. But these checks are not really in the positive side for us because we want to grow in prosperity. We want to grow in population and grow in prosperity, but these are not happening. So these positive checks on our lifespan and on our well-being are the concerns of so many international bodies like the United Nations when they came up with the framework of SDG 1, no poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger in the whole world, and then we have SDG 17, climate action to combat these environmental issues. But unfortunately, or happily, Nigeria also have its own frameworks to deal with some of these issues. Like we have the Nigerian Green Alternative, which is the Nigerian Agricultural Promotion Policy, NAPP. We also have the Nigerian Economic Recovery Growth Program, URGP. All these are very laudable projects and programs that are aimed at stemming the tide of these problems we have identified. And it is to consolidate on the gains of these programs that we are here, and we chose the topic of today's theme, which is towards a sustainable agricultural-led growth for economic growth and recovery in Nigeria. So, we at the Agricultural Policy Research Network in Nigeria, we believe so much about agricultural policy and food development requiring a kind of interface between the policymakers, the scientific community, the farmers, the agribusiness, and all those who are involved in the agricultural business in Nigeria, in the country, to forge a solution to our teething problems that have brought us to where we are facing the problem of hunger and becoming taking the unenviable position of the largest country that hosts the largest country which hosts the most populous poor people in the world. This is an unenviable position that we need to reverse with immediate effect. This is like an ant in our pint that we must address. We believe in APRNet that this type of problem cannot be solved by just one group of experts alone sitting there in the academia providing scientific solutions that are not demand-driven. But we believe that solution to agricultural problems that we have in Nigeria must require an interface between all the stakeholders in the agricultural policy sphere. It includes the donors who help us to escape poverty, to escape hunger, like the USAID, the IFPRI. It also requires farmers associations. These are the people who actually cultivate crops, and livestock producers. We have them here. We also require interface between the experts, the scientific community, and everybody that has anything to do, the media, the investors in the agribusiness, and all that have anything to do with agriculture, so that we can work together to bring about agricultural development that is holistic and also inclusive. That is why APRNet's mission is to undertake research which will be utilized by the policymakers, and then we enlighten people about this research, and then come out with policies that will transform the lives of Nigerian agriculture and rural development. That is why APRNet was formed in 2009 after a meeting of stakeholders in Abuja here with IFPRI, Canadian Institute of International Development, CIDA, then working with the NSSP, which is the Nigerian Strategy Support Program, and then we were able to start the Agricultural Policy Research Network to bridge this gap of bringing stakeholders to address issues in food policy in Nigeria. So basically, what we do includes research and information sharing. We also do a lot of training, capacity building, policy linkages, and dissemination of information. And we have been able to, within a very short time, do so much within the agricultural sphere. So we have a journal where we allow scholars to disseminate their research findings. And this journal will be unveiled here today, the 5th volume will be unveiled beyond you today. We've engaged about 7 states in the country so far within 2 years to look at issues that are disturbing Nigerians in agricultural sphere. And all these 7 states, we've engaged not less than 50, 70 individual stakeholders representing different organizations. And we built capacities of farmers, we built capacities of young scholars, and so many other people that have anything to do. So over 400 farmer scientists and policymakers were trained within these few years of my own regime under APRNet, not to talk about what has happened before I ascended the office as the APRNet president. Well, we have been able to also collaborate on serious research. We won a research grant to assess the effectiveness of aid that is coming to Nigeria and Ghana. So APRNet studied that to see how effective they are, and then we disseminated this information to the Global Development Network, which is supported by the World Bank. And we have also made crucial contributions to policy making sphere by addressing some issues in the national budget, making recommendations about some policies in agriculture in Nigeria, and then handing it over to them to refine policies that will affect farmers and agribusiness. And we have provided avenues for dissemination of information to over 150 researchers through our network and through the products and services that we give. So enlightenment and opportunities for young scholars go on in our community too, among many other things that we cannot mention. Our website has hit of over 15,000 hits every month. That means that our visibility is very high when we look at international access to what we want to do. So now APRNet, we cannot mention, there are a lot, itemize everything that we do here, but I am happy to tell you that APRNet is really moving from height to higher heights. Every year, with the support of our funders who are here with us at our APRNet Expo and members will be invited. So, but why are we here today? we are here today to discuss very teething problems that can have fundamental effect on the economy of the country and even the unity of the country. So there are three crucial issues that APRNet want to bring stakeholders to discuss about today. One, the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement was signed in March 28, 2019 in Niamey, in Niger Republic by our Honorable President, President Muhammadu Buhari, after 1 year of trying to assess whether this is a good policy to dip into or not. So I thank him for taking time to listen to stakeholders before going to sign. You don't just sign documents and then come back later and say, I did not know when I signed it. This was the reason why we had the issue of Onaburi we stand in 1967. So those who knows about the Nigerian Civil War knows what I'm talking about. So President Buhari was, trying to see, is this policy fair for Nigeria? But we don't know. They did some studies and then found out that, well, Nigeria can just sign this and let us see how it will work for us. So eventually it was signed, and now it is to go into the National Assembly to be implemented as a law. But before then, we need to dialogue and see how will this policy affect Nigerian agriculture? How will it affect exports from Nigerian agriculture? How would it affect import of agricultural products into Nigeria? Is it going to bring about dumping of food and other things that we produce and then be of disadvantage to our farmers? We don't know. So we have scholars and experts who will talk about this today. It's one of the reasons why we are here. And then there's another controversial issue that faced Nigeria in the recent times. All of you know about that. There is the issue of not having the right model of livestock production in Nigeria. So because we lack that appropriate model that will drive the productivity and production of livestock in Nigeria, it has now been hijacked by politicians, by hoodlums, and many other people, and then there is a lot of controversies going on about livestock production in Nigeria. And then we in the academia, we have not really come out to discuss the implication of this with stakeholders, the livestock farmers, the farmers, because we've been having herdsmen killing farmers. And in Benue State, we were all aware that over 700 people have died. So in some countries, when one person died, there's a national mourning. I don't know how we treat human beings in Nigeria. But for 700 people to have died from Fulani or farmers' herdsmen clash, it requires a serious intervention. It requires an intervention that is no longer business as usual, that we need to come and talk in a round table to see what is the best way out of this program so that lives that will be lost will be minimized and human dignity can be preserved. So we have experts that will talk about that policy here today from the academia and those from the industry. So we will relate on that. Then thirdly, Nigerian agricultural value chain is not so competitive. And we need to be competitive even in the face of signing this AFCFTA after, which now has to propel us to produce more, to be competitive, at least in Africa, and take over the market of Africa. But how prepared are we to take up this challenge of AFCFTA, which we have just signed? Are we really prepared? Then we will look at that and see whether inputs like credit availability, credit assets, especially looking at the window of opportunity that has been presented by the Central Bank of Nigeria through Anchor Borrower Program, NISAB, and any other risk sharing or risk reducing opportunity. How far is this model working? So we are here to dialogue on that. And then we will now have some few scientific scholars who will expose their discovery or whatever they have done in order to improve agricultural productivity in Nigeria. These are what we are here to discuss, ladies and gentlemen, and this will require stakeholders' engagement. So this problem or this mission will not be accomplished, or wouldn't have been accomplished. It cannot be accomplished without the participation, without the funding that has been provided for us by USAID, IFPRI, Michigan State University, and also APRNet members, because APRNet also contribute their own meager resources to feed this association. So we are very grateful to our donors. We are also grateful to everybody who is here. We have NIWA, gender is highly represented here. We have the youth. The youth are represented here. What is the youth leader of farmers, Young Farmers Association of Nigeria? Is somewhere around. One of the panelists who is representing the trade, Nigerian Agricultural National Association of Nigerian Traders, NANS, is here. He just came in with the red cap here. So we will call these discussants on the round table here. We will soon leave here and then leave them so that we can battle with them and see whether what we have is great. So I just want to thank you all for making it down to this place, giving us your precious time to contribute to this special dialogue on national issues that affect agriculture and the livelihood of farmers, and not just farmers, but Nigerians, because about over 65% of Nigerians are farmers. So when we talk about agriculture, we are talking about diversification of the economy. We are talking about the biggest sector of the economy of Nigeria. So we are here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you and wish you a very successful deliberation today. Have a happy deliberation, and then we will come out at the end with a communique which we will send to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development to take action, because we don't just believe in theories. So after that, we can also end our discussion by meeting the Federal Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, and then see the way APRNet can work on a framework that is put on pen and paper, that this is how we will go. And we want to contribute on analyzing policies of agriculture, their impact, because we can no longer do policies as usual and then look at these policies and we don't assess how they are impacting on the people. According to my mentor, late Professor Idachaba, good intentions are not enough. So we have to see how the intentions that the federal government has in Nigeria, how these good intentions are actually impacting on the livelihood of people. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome to this great discussion today. Thank you.
I think we can do better than that. Thank you, Dr. Anthony Onoja. You've just been able to chronicle all that have been bedeviling Nigerian agriculture. We thank you for that, and then here we'll come up with a paper or a communique on that. I wish also to formally recognize the presence of, I think I did call him before, Abdullahi Saidu Agundu, the Anchor Brewers Program Chairman on Kebbi State. Is he here?